Islam Makhachev and Alexander the Great. Volkanovski at UFC Perth, Western Australia, the main events for UFC 284, which is going to have Robert the Reaper Whittaker and Paulo Costa in the co-main event. This is the clear main event from the number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world, in the man, the myth, the legend, the Australian Alexander Volkanovski, and the number three pound-for-pound MMA fighter in the world, in Islam Makhachev, who just beat Charles do Bronx Oliveira very decisively. So now we have number one and number three, champ versus champ, one of the greatest featherweights of all time. You can argue the best in terms of skill of all time, but number two in terms of accomplishments of all time, the pound for pound best versus the best lightweight in the world, arguably the most stacked division in the UFC. It's going to be amazing. I cannot freaking wait. Obviously, it's not official. Not 100% this fight is going to happen, but it very well could. It very, very well could. And in this video, we're going to go through my thoughts on who I think will win, why I think they're going to win, and my thoughts on these betting odds. Minus 400 for Islam Makhachev. Minus 300 for Islam right there. 4-1 and 3-1 in favor of Islam Makhachev. So let's get into my thoughts, because that's what the betting odds are saying. This is what the public is saying, giving Makhachev 2-1 favorite odds on the Tapology predictions here. They're saying Makhachev minus 200, Volkanovski at plus 200. Personally, I'm going to have to agree with the DraftKings odds of minus 300. I'd have it at 75% confidence for Islam Makhachev to win. I have Islam Makhachev winning this fight. Do I think Islam is going to get the KO win? No. I do not think so. Alexander Volkanovski has shown no sign of really getting hurt too much. I mean, you can say maybe the second or the first Max Holloway fight might have got stumbled a little bit in that fight, but there's really never been any moments. I mean, yeah, he did get knocked out by Corey Nelson back in 2013, but in the UFC, there hasn't been any moments of him really getting rocked on the feet or getting hurt too bad on the feet. So I'm going to rule out an Islam Makhachev KO TKO. I'm also going to rule out an Alexander Volkanovski submission for obvious reasons. Volkanovski is not submitting Islam Makhachev. I will bet my life that Volkanovski will not submit Islam. If there's odds out there for Volkanovski just to go out there and not get a submission, I'm putting millions. If I had millions of dollars, I'd put it all on that prop. But that's what we got so far. So we have Islam by submission or decision, and we got Alexander Volkanovski by KO TKO or by a decision. And now, Alexander winning by knockout is a possibility. Yes, it is a possibility. That is the main way to slay the dragon. That is Islam Makhachev. That's the only way people have slayed the dragon. That is Islam by knockout in round number one. So, at this point, I'm going to actually rule out the decision for Alexander Volkanovski. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't see a world where Alexander Volkanovski can win 3 out of 5 rounds against Islam Makhachev, when if it does go to a decision, Islam's probably going to end up getting a takedown, getting close to a submission, and ground and pounding Volkanovski in every single one of the 5 rounds. So a decision win for Volkanovski is also going to be out of the table, in my opinion, which now leads me to only a KO possibility for Alexander Volkanovski. On the feet, the man has absolutely devastating leg kicks, and that's going to be a thing that he's going to have to use early on in the fight, because he's actually going to have the reach advantage over Islam Makhachev, but I don't want him to use the reach. I want him to use I take that back. I want him to use the reach to use the leg kicks. So come in, use the reach, jab and a 1-2 in him to set up the leg kicks. Because I'm going to be honest, I don't think the knockout from Volkanovski would come from the hands. I think if there's a possibility of Volkanovski winning this fight and becoming the double champion of the featherweight and lightweight division, I think Volkanovski would go out there and leg kick KO Islam Makhachev, which is the craziest thing I've said in a while to say there's a chance of Volkanovski leg kicking Islam, but I think that's really his only chance. I highly doubt he's going to crack him on the feet enough to knock him out with punches and knock him out to the chin of Islam Makhachev. So, because anytime he gets into that range of Islam and is able to land those strikes to the head of Islam, Islam's going to clinch up, body lock, take him down, double leg him, single leg him, whatever the case may be. He's going to throw him, judo throw. I don't see a world where Volkanovski can land on the chin of Islam Makhachev, which leads now. I mean, I'm kind of breaking it down to all the possibilities, and the only possibility I give now is really only a body kick win, like the freaking Brandon Moreno, Kai Kara France liver kick, maybe a knee to the liver, or a leg kick KO from Alexander Volkanovski. That is all I give for Alexander Volkanovski's chances of winning this fight on Islam Makhachev. That is it, guys. That is it. A leg kick KO due to just a bunch of leg kicks, and he just keeps on chopping. Maybe hits that perennial nerve that Sean O'Malley got hit with against Marlon Chito Vera and got knocked out with. But other than that, I don't see a world where Volkanovski gets a submission. I can't see him winning a judge's scorecard's decision, and I can't see him landing on the chin because he's going to get taken down. So, yeah, it's leg kick KO, a knee to the body, or a leg to the liver for Alexander Volkanovski. And for Islam, I said the KO is going to be ruled out, and it leaves me, I mean, yeah, he possibly could get a KO, but I see him going out there and the main path to victory being a decision or a submission win on Alexander Volkanovski. And I'm going to be honest, before last night, before I saw Charles Oliveira get hurt on the feet, and submitted by Islam Makhachev, I was actually leaning for a future fantasy prediction of Volkanovski Makhachev. I was leaning towards Makhachev decision. And if it does go to a decision, guys, I'm going Islam Makhachev. I think if it goes all the way, Islam will still be able to win the fight on the judges' scorecards. But he should be able to get the fight down. The man is so strong. He's got the tightest squeeze of the arm triangle that he was able to submit Charles Oliveira with in his last fight. The squeeze in with, he just cranked on that Kimura on Dan Hooker. The squeeze in the rear naked on Thiago Moises. Another arm triangle on Drew Dober. The dude is I think he's going to submit Alexander Volkanovski. I don't think it's going to be round one. I think round one, Volkanovski is going to try to feel out that range. Islam's going to try to feel out that range as well. Islam will get the takedown at the end of round number one. But round number two, it's going to be similar to round number two with Oliveira. That's when Islam's going to try to find his striking range, and it's going to be a heck of a lot easier to land that takedown. On Volkanovski, Islam is bigger, he is stronger, and he's going to find his way to muscle to that same arm triangle choke position. And Volkanovski, knowing that Islam just arm triangled Oliveira, is going to be defending that arm triangle. He's going to give his back to Islam Makhachev, and I'm calling a neck crank, rear naked choke submission win from Islam Makhachev, round number two. That is the prediction, ladies and gentlemen. I'm ruling out a KO win from Volkanovski to the chin. His only way is a body kick, a knee to the liver, or a leg kick KO. He's not winning a decision. I'm ruling out a knockout from Islam Makhachev. The only way he wins is a submission or a unanimous decision. And I'm leaning more towards that submission. I think Islam will win round number one. He will win round number one, and he will submit Alexander Volkanovski in round number two. And after he beats Volkanovski, probably fight Beneil Dariush next. Maybe he'll fight Dustin Poirier next. I don't know. He's going to win a few more fights, and he's only 31 years old. That's when Islam is going to move up. And Islam Makhachev is going to challenge Leon Rocky Edwards. He's going to challenge Kamaru Usman, one of those guys. If Khamzat Chimaev is the champion, maybe not. But if it's one of those Bilal Muhammad types that are the champions, Leon Edwards, Kamaru Usman, one of those guys, I can see Islam going up to welterweight and winning that belt as well. But I think Islam wins against Alexander Volkanovski by submission round number two. Put your predictions down below, like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.